Hello. Um, just was watching the Vinyl Hunters channel, and from the UK, a young bloke and his uncle, and they pay serious money, like insane amounts for records. It's not my idea of fun, but bless them. And his speciality is the Vertigo Swirl label, and I just had to make a video because he's just made a video about the band called Gracious. Only put out two albums, sort of proggy, that sort of stuff. Um, and as a bonus, and I haven't watched the whole video yet, he interviews three of the members of the band. Now this is uh, their first album, just called Gracious. Bit of foxing on this one, and a sticker that has been removed up there. Where is it? With a fold out. Uh, mm, mm. It's going to be an absolute stinker. It's been stinking hot here for weeks, and I'm worn out. And it's bloody 5:30 in real time here, and already the sun's it's out there. It is just waiting to fry us all. Okay, now I came out here to this country town nearly 15 years ago, and the Salvation Army shop used to be really good. They had a lot of records in there that I got that were cheap, that were great. Someone must have died or they've moved on or something, but I was surprised to find this here. I knew about this, I'd never heard it, but as soon as I saw it, this has been absolutely thrashed. So it has no value, to a collector because there's myriad surface scratches, um, and there's one nasty one where someone's really dropped the needle, a couple actually, on side two. I can put up with it. I don't mind, the click, click, click through it, but it's not something I play very often. But because I think this is the second or record to come out on the Vertigo Swirl, just from memory. What's the number? Yeah, 6360002. So this is the second ever record released on the Vertigo Swirl. I'm not going to too much trouble with great looking video on this because, yes, it's covered in mirror. It plays through and it sounds pretty good. It's pretty heavy in parts. I wouldn't call it a classic, but I think the fact that it's one of the earliest Vertigo Swirls and they only made two albums and neither of them did anything. Here it is. Look, this album shows that Gracious have left behind the days of their first tour with The Who in 1968. Well, I saw The Who in Sydney, Australia in early 1968, so it's a pity Gracious didn't come out, but no, we have the Small Faces, that's better. It shows the evolution of their talent. Um, with arrangements by the group of the songs of Sandy Davis and Martin Kit Kat. I've always liked that name. I thought it was a joke, but that's the real name apparently. Martin Kit Kat. These two members of the group responsible for all the titles on this album have drawn on many influences from classics to jazz. Yeah, that's really, really obvious. This lineup of the group is completed by Robert Lipson, Tim Wheatley, and Alan Cowderoy. However, these five individuals are tightly knit together as the group Gracious wish to be accepted for their music alone. So, if you pardon the pun, listen now to natural goodness. Gracious. Yeah, okay, so um, side one, Introduction, Heaven, Hell, and side two, Fugue in D minor. I quite like that. It's and then the Dream. I it's it's got really good moments on it, but it's just sort of not something you'd just say, hey, let's play Gracious. It's look, the Vertigo Swirl label looks terrific. Blah blah blah. Oh, by the way, I got this for $1. You know, this thing goes for thousands or something now, but not in this condition. I mean, someone probably pay 100 or two for this just to have it. But you know, this is what turns me on is finding things that some people just salivate over, and I don't really, you know, I don't like it particularly, and I don't dislike it. It's okay. It's just an artifact to me. And I thought, hey, for $1, that's fine. What's the problem? So I think they were originally called Satan's Disciples or something. They're a group doomed to never be successful. Imagine calling a group, I think they're from Bournemouth or Southampton or something. I mean, by starting out by calling yourself Satan's Disciples in the mid 60s is sort of like, right. And then suddenly gracious? What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Anyway, I'm getting off track. Recorded at Philips Spring 1970. Now, the second album apparently came out on the actual Philips label itself. So a lot of people don't realise that Vertigo is actually Philips. It's just their, you know, their she label, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Anyway, recorded at Philips Spring 1970. Not much else to say about it. Yeah, Vinyl Hunters. These guys are like serious, really, really serious collectors, and they pay huge amounts of money. It gives me the willies. I mean, I'm just, to me, it's, I just don't, I can't go there. You know, like to me, you got to find something like that for $1 in this godforsaken hellhole at the bottom of the world. How it got here, I'll never know. Who the hell would have? It must have been some poor pommy bastard was sent out here as one of the last convicts or something, and they let him bring his record collection. I don't know how did it end up here. I just don't understand it. You wouldn't find this in. It's just crazy. I'm not knocking it. Don't knock the rock. Bye now. Happy New Year, everybody.